Assalamu alaikum, my dear cadets. I welcome you all. It's a very critical moment to you where the novel coronavirus has scattered everywhere in our country and also all over the world. So be safe and sound and stay your home. Don't go anywhere. However you excellent are. I am Muhammad Ashikur Rahman, lecturer in chemistry at Borishal Cadet College. Today, I am going to start my lesson on chapter 2, and the name of the chapter is Organic Chemistry, which is included to your chemistry second paper. The topic you will be taught today is some miscellaneous questions, including to your organic chemistry chapter. Okay, this is the learning outcomes for today's lecture. By the end of this lesson, cadets, you will be able to identify aldehyde and ketone by carbonyl test. You will be able to explain the glycerin identification test, explain how can primary amine be identified, and you'll be able to prepare DDT, Dettol, and other organic compounds related to your lesson. Okay, first of all, I'd like to discuss the carbonyl test, that means aldehyde and ketone test. Okay, for aldehyde or ketone test, first test is 2,4-DNP test. 2,4-DNP means 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. Okay, by this compound we can identify both compounds aldehyde and ketone, because when 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine is added to aldehyde and ketone both, these two compounds also react with this compound and give for aldehyde acetaldehyde 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine for acetaldehyde, and for acetone it will give the following reaction, and acetone 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine compound will be produced. That's why we can say that 2,4-DNP test undergoes by the two following compounds, that means aldehyde and ketone. But after this test, we cannot identify which compound is aldehyde and which one is ketone by this test. But we can identify uh, that this sample obviously may be aldehyde or maybe ketonic compound. Okay, after this test we can followed by the Tollens reagent test. Do you know what is Tollens reagent? Diamine silver hydroxide compound is called Tollens reagent. When adding an aqueous ammonia solution to silver nitrate solution, you will be able to prepare this solution. Okay, this solution, that means diamine silver hydroxide In aqueous solution, this solution is called Tollens reagent, and by using this reagent we can identify only aldehyde, not ketone, because only this Tollens reagent only this Tollens reagent reacts with aldehyde but not in ketone, but not with ketonic compound. Okay, when Tollens reagent is reacts with aldehyde compound, then the silver mirror is precipitated, but in case of ketone, this test will not be happen. And the next test is failing solution test, and the test is what is failing solution? Basic cupric hydroxide solution is called failing solution test, and when failing solution is added to any aldehyde compound, then red ppt of cuprous oxide is produced. But when we used ketonic compound with failing solution, then this type of reaction cannot be happened. That means in this case, no reaction is possible. And by these two solutions, that means by using Tollens reagent solution and failing solution, we can identify or we can differentiate aldehyde and ketonic compound. Okay, now the acrolein test. Do you know what do you mean acrolein? Acrolein test may be experienced for the identification of glycerol or glycerin. When glycerin is heated in presence of potassium bisulfate compound, then water, two molecules of water is removed from glycerin and a different one compound, that means acrolein, which contains a bitter taste, is produced, and by this bad taste we can identify that the sample compound obviously contains a glycerol compound. Now, the test for unsaturation. Do you know what do you mean by unsaturation, boys? Unsaturation, unsaturated compounds contains double bond or triple bond in its itself, but in saturated compound there is no double or triple bond. That means here alkene is considered to a saturated compound, but in alkene and alkyne compound is may be considered as unsaturated compounds. Okay, now we have to discuss the unsaturation test. That means how can we identify unsaturated compounds from saturated one. Alkene test may be test by using bromine solution first. When bromine solution is added to any alkene compound, then 1,2-dibromoethane may be produced for ethene compound. And in this case, the red colors for bromine is disappeared. But in case of alkane compound, this test may not be happen. Okay. Now, alkene test using Bayer solution. Alkaline potassium permanganate solution is called Bayer solution. When we use Bayer solution to any unsaturated compound like alkene, then the brown or the violet colors of alkaline potassium permanganate solution may be disappeared by the production of glycol compounds. And this type of test cannot give any other compounds other than alkene compound. Now, phenol test using bromine solution. When bromine solution is added to phenol, then 2,4,6-tribromophenol may be produced, and in this case the red color of bromine solution is disappeared. And after this happens, we can identify phenol, and you can also identify phenols by using ferric chloride solution. When you use ferric chloride solution to phenolic compound, then diferric hexafinate may be produced, and here contains a violet color, and by this color we can identify phenol easily. Now chloroform or carbylamine test, and by this test we can also identify amine compound that especially primary amine compound can be identified. And uh, first of all, this is the primary amine, aromatic amine compound. This is aniline. When aniline is reacts with chloroform in presence of alcoholic potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide base at 60 degrees Celsius centigrade temperature, then carbylamine compounds may be produced, whose another name is phenyl isocyanide. And by this reaction we can identify aniline, primary amine or chloroform compound. Okay, first alcohol and ether identification by phosphorus pentachloride. When phosphorus pentachloride is added to alcoholic compound, then alkyl halide is produced with hydrochloric acid. But if phosphorus pentachloride is added to etheric compound, then alkyl chloride is produced, and in this case hydrochloric acid cannot be produced here. So this is, by this reaction we can identify alcohol and etheric compound. And the another test is when the sodium test. When sodium is added to alcoholic compound, then sodium replaces the hydrogen atom from alcoholic compound and sodium alkoxide is produced here with hydrogen gas evolved in this case. But when in case of etheric compound, this type of reaction cannot be happen, and by this test we can easily identify or differentiate alcohol from etheric compound. Now the Lucas reagent test. By this test we can identify different types of alcohol like primary, secondary or tertiary alcohol, or 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree alcohol. When anhydrous zinc chloride in presence of concentrated solution is called Lucas reagent, and when uh, Lucas reagent is added to tertiary alcohol, then immediately turbidity is formed. But when it is used with secondary alcohol, then turbidity is formed after 5 minutes. And when Lucas reagent is added to primary alcohol, then no reaction at room temperatures. And by this different times of their test, we can easily be identified tertiary, secondary, and primary alcohol by using Lucas reagent. Now the preparation of DDT. DDT is prepared by the reaction of chloral with chlorobenzene in presence of sulfuric acid. When two molecules or 2 moles of chlorobenzene reacts with 1 mole of chloral, Then by the removal of water, DDT is produced, which can be used as insecticides or poison. Okay, boys, no more today. Now the home task for you. Here is a creative question, and this question contains a stem, and the stem compound is 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. And by observing this stem, after observing this stem, you have to solve the following questions, which is the first one is what is carbolamine, and the second one is why benzene doesn't give unsaturation test, and the next one is an explanation type question, which is explain the properties of compounds shown in the stem. That means here you have to write some properties of 2,4-DNP compounds, and finally you have to analyze what type of compound can be identified by the following stem reagent. Okay. Okay, boys, no more today. Now I would like to conclude here. Be safe and sound and stay at home. Thank you and thank you all.